Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, The Addicted Bookworm. So, I didn't realize this, but Banned Book Week started yesterday. I'm a day late. A day late and a dollar short. So all the way up until, even though Banned Book Week ends on Saturday, I am going to be wearing this one all the way through Sunday. And then it's going to go in a box and come out next year. So Banned Book Week, I forgot when Banned Book Week was established, but Banned Book Week is a week where we highlight books that have been banned for various different kinds of reasons, either political, religious, social, whatever. So we as people that value our freedom to read, to receive information, to have anyone try to limit that is very, very un-American. And we take insult of it. It's like these books have been banned, these books have been restricted, these books have been challenged. And the biggest lie that comes out, especially with people that don't see the bigger picture, which is what I do, because I lived through the Satanic Panic, even though I didn't realize that until later on down the road when I realized there was such a thing as a Satanic Panic. And I personally was never touched by it, but it was interesting. Like, I read Here's to My Sweet Satan, which was about the occult in music and all that stuff, which was an interesting read. Please pick it up if you can. The thing about Banned Book Week is that it is something that people love to point out is, oh, this is the byproduct. Oh, this is an event that benefits publisher. This is about making more money. And I'm like, I literally am like, do you have any idea of what can happen if the government succeeds in limiting what kinds of books you can read? And then people are going to say, well, it won't affect me because I don't read. Do you watch movies? Do you watch TV shows? You don't read. Do you play video games? Oh yes, it's going to affect you big time. It's going to affect you big time. So when you ban books, if you're able to ban books, then you're able to ban everything else. And I believe it's Texas. Why do I got a feeling I am guessing the right state? Oh, because Texas is a bunch of assholes, as Florida is. Texas recently passed a law that goes after... let me stop for a second. On the surface, it's a good law. It basically goes after AI child pornography. Here's the bad part. It can affect the manga and anime industries. It passed. No major outcry, no anything, because it gave them this little beautiful expansion of the law. AI child pornography. Of course, everybody's against it. Until they go after things that is not sexually explicit. Then suddenly, that law ain't so good. So, we need Banned Book Week. We need to highlight what's going on in states like Florida and Texas. And they try to mega do it in California. They try to do it in Ohio. I believe Ohio passed the Freedom to Read Act or something like that. But here's the thing. Is people have this lie of, well, we're only doing it. We're only doing it to the children's libraries. We're only doing it to the libraries in middle and high school. But then they move up to public libraries, where people pay taxes to keep them open. And then you have politicians that want to up the ante and go after bookstores. Like, I know, what's it? Hold on a second. Because I need to see the idiot's name, because I do not remember. Because they went after Barnes & Noble. Okay. It says here, Barnes & Noble was sued over books in 2022 Virginia case where a lawmaker attempted to restrict the sale of genderqueer and A Course in Mist and Fury by claiming that they were obscene for minors, but a judge dismissed the lawsuit, finding the state's obscenity law unconstitutional in that application. In a separate earlier lawsuit from 1997, Barnes & Noble sued Amazon over false claims of having a larger book. Okay. So his name was Anderson, and basically, so the claim was Anderson alleged the books contained obscene sexual material unsuitable for children. Virginia law should be applied to restrict their sale. The judge dismissed the lawsuit. Outcome: the lawsuit was dismissed. The judge stated the case could not be successfully amended. So yeah. So this Virginia law politician, he was trying to basically dictate and control what Barnes & Noble could sell. Because if you're going to try to restrict Barnes & Noble from selling genderqueer and Course in Mist and Fury, have you been to a Barnes & Noble? I'm not talking about the revamped Barnes & Noble. We're talking about, like, I have a Barnes & Noble that I'm going to on the 23rd, because I've got a doctor's appointment on the 23rd. As soon as I get out of the doctor's appointment, I'm going to Barnes & Noble after I get lectured by my doctor for not sending off that Cologuard test. It's like, yeah, anyways, that's an entirely different matter, and it's not for this video. But anyways, I'm going to Barnes & Noble. They are a big store. I mean, they are one of the few big Barnes & Nobles that are out there. And I go there because they have a cafe. And I love their cafe. I want to get a cheesecake. I miss their cheesecakes so much. I'm actually considering getting a whole cheesecake and bringing it home, because that's just how I do things. But anyways, it's from the Cheesecake Factory, if anybody wants to know. And they've got books in there that, if politicians had their way, both state and federal, those books would not be on the shelf. So when Anderson went after Barnes & Noble, guess who defended them? Amazon. Amazon sent their attorneys in to help defend. I think they teamed up with Barnes & Noble's attorneys. These attorneys were very good at one thing: winning! And they won. And Anderson looked like a damn idiot. But this is what we're talking about. We're talking about politicians that are going after places like Barnes & Noble. The myth that people that don't see the big picture, and I'm going to continue to say this over and over again, oh, you can go to the bookstore and buy it. It's not banned. When you got a politician that goes after a bookstore, I'm sorry, but my brain has not been fried by social media. So, as I said, this week I'm going to wear the pin to celebrate Banned Book Week and to and everything. But yeah. So, anyways, um, yeah. Oh yes, so yeah. I mean, I was gonna say something, but I think I've already mentioned it. But yeah. But what I have not mentioned is one of the great things about places like Amazon is they do offer devices you can read books really, really cheap. So my Kindle Fire that I sold like months ago, I spent probably about $60 on it. And if you're a teenager who has a job and mommy and daddy does not want you to read a book that you want to read, you can get an e-reader. You can get an Amazon Fire. Put your little code in there, and you can read those books. I mean, you may have to. Well, I don't know, whatever. But yeah. But e-readers are a great way to receive books, receive information, and be able to read them. Um, but um, But yeah, I mean, my Nook device was my first device I bought, and I would read books that my mother did not want me to read. And that's how I got information. That's how I learned a lot about the world. However, my mother wasn't like a lot of people where she was like for total censorship because she had been a constitutional law student, but there's people out there that want to cut off all access. And I remember reading an article that really showed how bad some of these people are willing to go to prevent people in general from being able to read books. This guy actually goes into the server room where the library has their server and starts just ripping out keyboard. I mean, ripping out stuff. And the system went down because the system had been damaged. And this elderly woman who is wheelchair bound is like, how am I supposed to read my bodice rippers now? He did not care. He did not care at all. He wanted to remove anyone's access to anything. And that's what he did. He risked getting electrocuted to make a point. And I don't think the guy got reelected. I do not know. Makes you wonder. Anyways, so yeah. So, Banned Book Week is important, and it's important for us to cherish our First Amendment right to receive information, to receive different points of view, no matter what the point of view is. Alright, that is my video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video.